Hey everyone, welcome to Alpha Insights. I'm Lucy, and Juniper and I are back with a quick market check. And hey, if you have questions while you're listening, drop them at stockalpha.ai.
And I'm Juniper. Good to be here. We've got a few policy moves and some fresh state-level data that are putting a cautiously optimistic spin on cannabis names as U.S. markets open today.
Right. So, the real question here is how much of the short-term headline risk just eased? Let's start with Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's a good point. In Oklahoma, the state house declined to move forward with a proposal that would have let employers label more roles as safety sensitive and fire registered medical cannabis patients after drug tests. That removes a possible compliance headache for operators there.
Exactly. For companies operating in Oklahoma, that verdict preserves current patient protections and keeps extra costs off the table for now. Still, this doesn't mean workplace debates are over in other states.
Policymakers can circle back, and similar bills could pop up elsewhere. So it's relief, but not a permanent pass.
The other headline that's drawing attention is the Massachusetts data release. The state's regulator reported that licensed dispensaries now account for 73% of cannabis purchases last year.
I mean, when you look at the data, that figure suggests legal retail is grabbing real share from illicit markets. For multi-state operators and retailers, that pattern supports the idea of steadier sales and, over time, better unit economics as regulated channels scale.
Honestly, I was a bit surprised by this one. 73% is a big number. If more states show the same migration from street supply to licensed stores, revenue visibility and analyst models could start to firm up.
Right. But we should be careful. One state data is encouraging, not definitive. Replication across several markets would make the case much stronger.
Let's talk tax risk in Colorado next. A legislative panel recommended rejecting a ballot proposal that would have hiked excise taxes on cannabis and alcohol, a measure that was expected to raise about $44 million a year for a new facility.
That was a unanimous recommendation. Practically speaking, it avoids immediate upward pressure on operator taxes and preserves pricing and margin structures for Colorado businesses. That's another small tailwind for the sector this week.
Okay, quick reactions.
Interesting.
Right.
So what's next? What should listeners be watching today?
Good question. First, keep an eye on state policy calendars. Follow-up hearings in Oklahoma or new filings in Colorado could change the picture quickly. Policy momentum is fluid.
Second, listen to company commentary. Earnings season isn't finished for multi-state operators and ancillary names, and management remarks about state-by-state demand or margin trends can move stocks. Analysts note that guidance reflecting stronger legal retail demand would be a big signal.
Third, watch for more retail sales releases. If Massachusetts is a one-off, the story stalls. But if other states publish similar point-of-sale or survey data showing licensed channel gains, sentiment could broaden.
And don't ignore supply chain themes. Coverage about seed quality and genetics is more than niche. It ties to product differentiation, SKU economics, and longer-term margin trends for cultivators.
On the market side, monitor flows into the US cannabis ETF and liquidity around major operators. Specifically, keep an eye on the MSOS US cannabis ETF flows and company names like Trulieve, Green Thumb, Curaleaf, and Tilray for news-driven moves.
Just a reminder, this is analysis for informational purposes only. We're not giving personalized investment advice or telling anyone to buy or sell. Analysts and data suggest momentum, but individual risk management matters.
Totally. Quick checklist for traders and listeners. Watch state policy calendars, listen to management remarks in earnings, track additional retail data releases, and follow ETF and name-specific flows for liquidity signals.
Bottom line, policy headwinds eased this week in a couple of key states, and Massachusetts data points toward growing licensed market demand. That combination is creating some positive momentum, but it's selective and still hinges on more data and state-by-state developments.
All right, that wraps up our take. Got questions? We'd love to hear from you. Head over to stockalpha.ai where you can ask us anything and we'll answer live. And while you're there, check out more market content and our Q&A feature.
Thanks for listening. See you next time on Alpha Insights.